Hello everybody! Now, some of you might have been wondering when I was going to upload the answers to my question and answer video, and I will be answering all of the questions. So here are the answers to your sacred questions. The first question is, how big is your toe? Without a question mark. Well, I'd say that it's about 4 centimeters, 2 inches, 4 centimeters, something like that. The next question is, what is your favorite song / type of music? I don't really have a favorite song, but about a year ago I used to be a major metalhead. Not into the new metal. Well, some of it, but not all of it. I still like power metal, but I used to like melodic death metal and stuff, which I don't know. I'd have to say my favorite song in the metal area around that time would have to be something either Ghost Prototype 2 by Scar Symmetry, or something like One of Fail by Kalma. One of those two. But now I have my friend Seth Hundley to thank for this. I mean, I used to listen to techno and electronic and house and whatnot, like, occasionally. I still liked it back then, but it just wasn't one of the major things that I would listen to most of the time. And my friend Seth Hundley, he's into that kind of music, and whenever, like, he would come over to my house and he'd listen to it, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And eventually I just sort of caught on and started listening to that a lot, and I lost my taste for melodic death metal, but I still like power metal, which is cool. The next question is, best / fave fanfic you have ever read? Well, really, I just started reading fanfictions when I started making videos on this channel. The only one that I have read that isn't on here is Rainbow Factory, which I have to say that is probably one of my favorites. It says, also in the parentheses, it has favorite Grimdark, favorite shipping. My favorite Grimdark would easily be Silent Ponyville, since I just read that. And then my favorite shipping would probably be Swayback Mountain, because it was very sentimental. So Venom Pone's Cows here has a pretty big question. Well, multiple questions. Who is my least favorite pony? Well, I don't dislike any of the main 6, but if I did have to choose one pony to dislike from the whole show, it would easily be Prince Blueblood, because he is such a snotty, stuck-up piece of poo. Do I hope Luna is showed in more episodes this season? Well, honestly, I mean, I can see why she has such a big fan base, but to me, when it comes to Celestia or Luna, I'm on the side of Celestia, because I just think she's better. Nothing against her, but I mean, Luna's a cool character, and I can see why people would want her in more episodes, and I think, yeah, it's pretty great that she's having her own episode, because she barely got any screen time in the first season, so I think that would be pretty nice to see more of her. What are my thoughts on Discord? Well, when I first saw Discord, I was like, what is this crap? This is stupid. But then when the full episode got released, I saw what he really did and kind of what he was all about, and I like his attitude and I like his character, but I just don't like the way he looks. Like, the fan art of him is amazing, and I love him. If it's just that, you know, he has to look cartoony for the show, and a cartoon chimera just isn't. Do I find Fluttershy sexy? Well, I don't find her sexy or hot, but I would say I find her cute, pretty, and just generally attractive. How long do I think My Little Pony Friendship is Magic will last? Well, I saw this one guy. He was talking about how he thinks My Little Pony is going to last for a long time, but it's only going to be good for a certain amount of time, which I think is true, because, you know, as most shows go on, they sort of lose their way, like with SpongeBob. I used to watch SpongeBob all the time, and then now the episodes that came out, like, since 2 years ago, I was like, this is... What is this even? I mean, they still have a good episode every now and then, but... So, I'd say about 3 seasons, and then they're going to start getting into other stuff, if it lasts that long. I don't know if the fan base is going to be enough to keep the show trudging along, because kids are going to become disinterested in it. You know, like the kids that watch it are going to move on to something else. And then the new kids that come in to watch it aren't even going to know what's going on. So, I don't know if the fans are going to be enough to keep it alive. Do I know the Log 400 in real life? No, I do not. We just met on YouTube. Am I in a relationship with Megs Likes Cookies? Well, Venom, we can all dream, can't we? Yes, we can. What is my favorite finger? I'd have to say my thumb, because I love doing thumb-ups all the time. It's sort of my thing. Are you annoying? Well, can you be in the podcast? I don't manage that sort of thing, and you'd have to talk to Log 400 about that. Where do babies come from? Well, Venom, you see, when a man and a woman love each other very, very much, they tend to do this little activity, which, you know what, why don't you go ahead and ask Log 400 about that too. Next question. Was that Sweetie Belle X Apple Bloom scene at the end of the plague really my fetish, or was I just yanking your chain of memories? Well, I mean, if I had to draw my cards right and get the elixir to... I don't know. I was trying to make a funny chain of memories joke, but I... poo-poo. I mean, I had an erection while I was reading it, but it's not really my fetish. That's just what I thought of when I was reading it. I thought of that picture where it is, oh, that is my fetish and whatnot. If I could be any kind of pony, what kind of pony would I be and why? Well, in the Ponyverse, I've always been more on the side of unicorns, so I would choose a unicorn because they have magic, and in the world of ponies, magic can be very useful since you don't have hands, right? And, you know, you got that magic, so you can do cool whatnot. Quay Rocket Man has a serious question. When is Hitler? Well, Rocket Man, I'm afraid that question is too serious for me to air on public YouTube. So, you know, like, I can't I can't even answer that. Who is my favorite background pony? I used to like Lyra with you. And well, there's like the major background ponies, and then there's just the background ponies. And out of the major background ponies, Vinyl Scratch / DJ Pony is easily my favorite main background pony. But for the background, you know, way back there, I'd have to go with Colgate because she's cute. The next, where do you think My Little Ponies came from in their world? Well, obviously they were created by Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. I mean, what I don't know. Conspiracy theory you're talking about. Do I ever clop to the clop fix I read to you? No, I do not. I find it very hard to clop to erotica. So, you know, it's hard for me. Like, I get aroused at the reading, but I can't clop to it because it's just not enough. There's not enough substance there. I mean, I can think about it and fap. I mean, clop, not fap. What's fap? I don't know. I can think about it and clop to certain things, but not to ponies. They're not. You know. How did I roll into this fandom? Which my pal Dan is Allied has asked me to call it the herd instead of fandom. So, how did I roll into the herd? Well, I was a not too frequent, but a frequent browser of the chans, like, you know, 4chan and 413chan and all that nonsense. Mostly just 4chan though. Sometimes I'd go to 7chan. And well, I saw the ponies on CO because I'm a cartoon fad nerd geek guy. And then they were all over B, too, and I was like, these ponies, this must be some sort of new cancer or something. And as I scrolled around the internet, I saw them showing up more and more in July, June, somewhere around there. And I was like, you know what, I might as well check it out. So I went and I watched the first episode, and the first episode was a cliffhanger, and I was like, what is this? I do not even. So I had to watch the second episode to see how it turned out, right? And then before I knew it, I was on episode like 8, and I was just pulled in. But what keeps me in the herd is the community and how supportive they are of each other and all the great things that come out of it. Next question. Will any of us be watching My Little Pony? Will we still be as proud as we are? I think that in the future, we might forget about ponies sometime. We might stray away from them. So some people might. I know there's like a hardcore fan that would never do that. But for the average brony, we might stray away from them, and then somebody's going to bring it up in conversation, and you're going to remember it. You're not going to forget it completely. You're going to still have that memory of them. If it was really that important to you, then you're still going to have that memory of the bronies and the ponies with you. And even, like, it's not going to be something simple, like when somebody says, like, Okie dokie Loki or something like that. You probably won't remember it, but then when somebody like specifically says, oh, you mean like Pinkie Pie, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember that, oh, those are good times, stuff like that. And now for some of us, like I for instance planned on getting a tattoo on my hip of Twilight Sparkle's Cutie Mark because she's my favorite main 6 pony. And you know, just to have that memory with me forever, because this was a really happy moment in my life, and I don't really ever want to forget that kind of thing. What's going to happen now, Azekahh? Well, now I'm gonna make more videos and hopefully get more popular. Do I like Luna? Well, I sort of answered that before. How many seasons do I already answered that. How did I find out? So let's get into it. I already answered that. What would I do if I saw Molestia? Well, I actually had a thought about that. How one night I would just be sitting here in my house playing video games or something, And somebody would knock on the door, and I'd go open the door, and it's like the middle of the night. And there's just this huge Princess Celestia standing there with this look on her face. And I'd be like, oh God, what is this? And she would have her way with me, and I would resist, but not too much, if you know what I'm saying. Zachary wants to know who he is. I just can't come up with any humorous questions tonight. Is this real life? Well, Jelly, that is royal. I like the name, by the way. There is no way to determine whether this is real life or not. Yeah. And Sether, 1996, wants to know, how is nigger formed?